Welcome back. Now, seems like the global cat and mouse game has finally come to an end. Gupta brothers Rajesh and Atul are currently behind bars in Dubai following news of their arrest last night. This comes after nearly 4 months since Interpol issued a red notice for them in connection with fraud and money laundering charges. If you recall, this is the same family that has been in the news for alleged corruption and their role in state capture, from allegedly influencing the hiring and firing of ministers, having a hold over other political and public figures, abusing state resources to claims they misplaced millions in public funding. The question now remains, will the Gupta brothers be brought to South Africa to account for their alleged wrongdoing? Well, I'm joined by Interpol's ambassador to South Africa, Andy Mashaile, to just give us some more clarity in terms of these two arrests. And Mashaile, thank you very much for your time and welcome to All Angles. Firstly, just for clarity, I mean, Interpol is a 194 member state organization. So these arrests, do they have to do with the alleged crimes that the Gupta families are, accused of in South Africa?
Yes, they have directly. They are directly impacting on the charges that have been laid against them. I wouldn't want to say they're fugitives from justice, but facts and principles suggest that they are fugitives from justice. They are suspects. They are wanted here. There are cases that have been laid against them, money laundering and other criminal charges and other further charges that might be added on later on as the law enforcement agencies and the criminal justice cluster pursues these gentlemen in a court of law.
So obviously this is a positive movement in terms of, the accountability when it comes to state capture in our country. But in reality, how long will it take before we see the Gupta brothers either in court or in orange overalls?
With the processes that have unfolded since 2018, whilst Ntate Michael Masuta was still the Minister of Justice, my recollection of the processes of extradition and finalization took place by then and have been finalized. And I would want to say to the people of this country and all those who are champions of justice that we need to allow the process, the administrative processes to unfold and allow other critical stakeholders, other ministries, other departments that are currently engaging in conversations with their colleagues on the other side of the world, that is the UAE, to unfold. After those administrative processes have taken place, I'm definitely sure that South Africans will then be able to say thank you to the law enforcement agencies, particularly Interpol South Africa, headed by Ntate Brigadier Nemabola, and all others who kickstarted the process who might no longer be there.
I want to go back to the point you made about them being charged with fraud and money laundering. Does this have to do with Interpol's red notice from a couple of months ago? Does it have to do directly with that? And when you talk about further charges, are you able to share with us exactly what?
Yes, this directly has to do with the red notice that was submitted to the UAE National Central Bureau, what you and I would call UAE Interpol. As a result of that red notice, they were nabbed yesterday, and I am sure the Pretoria Interpol, the Pretoria National Central Bureau, is engaging right now as we talk with their counterparts in the UAE on the matter of getting the two gentlemen to come over to our country and face the law. From a further charges point of view, I have no any other further charge that has come to my knowledge. I was only saying when the process unfolds and many other things come to light, there might be further charges that might be added. So I was saying South Africans must rest assured that that process will unfold and many other things will come to light, and justice will have to see the light of day.
So we know the UAE actually ratified its extradition policy with us last April, which actually assisted this time, I assume. But they also, the Dubai police also released a statement saying that the extradition file still needs to be completed for the legal process to continue. Exactly what needs to happen in terms of this file before we see them being, landing at Ora Tambo?
My blessed sister, I do not have insight of the details of that administrative process. Hence, I said earlier on, all administrative processes and the hiccups that those processes are experiencing would have to be ironed out between all the necessary critical stakeholders in the pursuit of crime prevention, crime combating, and prosecution of the gentleman.
So clearly this also strengthens then Interpol South Africa and Interpol in the UAE, knowing that, of course, Dubai, I'm sure they're quite aware how much South Africans have needed this arrest to happen.
Yes, ma'am. All 194 National Central Bureaus, members of Interpol, have a functional and a healthy relationship because it is about transnational crime. It is about hunting of the fugitives, whether they are in Brazil. Our gentlemen back at the office in Pretoria normally go out, and there's a wonderful gentleman called Captain Van der Heever who normally goes out to bring fugitives from South African law. So the relationship amongst the 194 national or Interpol offices is healthy. Yes, it is strengthened in this instance because South Africa has been in need of a relationship that would see to it that the fugitives, the two gentlemen, suspect, if you want me to, are brought back to face the might of the law and the courts in our country.
If Interpol has heard anything, we know that their lawyers or their lawyer did, go against that red notice that was initially filed. They did say they are challenging that. So have they responded to Interpol at all with the current developments?
With the arrest yesterday, this suggests one thing. Lawyers would then have to look at that process and follow it through to the courts. The arrests suggests that all other process by the Dubai police on behalf of Interpol, UAE, and Interpol Pretoria or South Africa, it means that the other processes will fall along the way because the processes followed by law enforcement agencies in Dubai for the two Interpol offices has been properly executed.
All right, Andy Mashaile, thank you very much for your time here on All Angles. Of course, it's going to be the National Prosecuting Authority and other law enforcement agencies that will have to make sure that the Guptas are seen in our country. The NPA has actually released a statement saying that they are in contact with their counterparts in Dubai, and they are saying that they have a team of experts that will be able to assist to fast-track this particular issue.